Do you feel uncertain about your retirement? Well, you're not alone. The traditional approach to retirement preparation is outdated, and the old rules don't apply. But don't worry, in this video, I'm going to share with you an even better approach. I'll explain why the traditional retirement strategy is no longer effective. And I'll share key steps for you to be able to create your own strategy that's right for you. So if you're ready to take control of your retirement, stick around in this video and I'm going to show you how. Hey everyone, I'm Daniel Ronberg, and for over a decade, I've been helping people retire with an abundant mindset. Today, I'm going to walk you through a client case strategy. But before I do, I want to share with you what I think is wrong with the traditional retirement strategy. The traditional path starts young. Get good grades in high school so you can get into a good college. Get into a good college so you can get your foot in the door at a good entry-level job. Work hard, move up the ranks, buy a home, start a family, have kids, save for retirement, and continue down this process until you're finally ready to retire. Then, and only then, are you supposed to enjoy it all. But what too many people are discovering is when you finally enter the promised land of retirement, it can feel a little bit empty. They feel like they've been sold a lie. And in many ways, whether it was intentional or not, they were. We've become conditioned to put off so much until a future date, but there's a better way. Let me walk you through one of our client case studies to show you exactly what I mean. This is Bill and Susan's client example. Bill and Susan are classic savers. They followed the traditional path. They went to college and got good jobs. They worked their way up, maxed out their 401ks the entire time and bought a home. They raised a family and did everything by the book. Here's a look at their situation. They're both 57 years old, and by this point, they've accumulated a strong net worth. Maybe their numbers don't match exactly where you're at today, but that's okay. The principles will still apply. Bill has a 401k with $818,000 in it and a rollover IRA of about $321,000. Susan has a 401k with $669,000 and a Roth IRA with about $76,000 in it. They also have a joint savings account, checking, and investment account with about $1.2 million in it, plus their home, 2 cars, and a mortgage. They were the classic American dream examples. Both came from lower middle-class families, worked hard, lived below their means, and saved diligently. Their goal was to retire at age 67. And when I asked why, they responded with, well, that's when Social Security is at its full benefit. And that's what we're supposed to do. They wanted to retire in 10 years. Their retirement spending goal was $12,500 per month, which is about $150,000 per year after taxes. They were also aware that healthcare expenses were going to be extra. Their current income was strong. Bill earned $220,000 a year in W-2 wages, and Susan earned $245,000 a year in W-2 wages as well. Both would receive strong Social Security benefits, about $3,400 a month each. And they saved aggressively, $30,000 each into their 401ks plus their employer match. And on top of that, they saved an additional $2,000 a month in their joint investment account. Their allocation suggested about 8% rate of return until they retire, and then an average rate of 6.5% after they retire. With these assumptions, here's what their future looked like. Their $3.2 million portfolio grew to over $9 million by age 67. And most of that growth would come from their compounding, not even their contributions. Their retirement income versus expenses showed that their Social Security benefits alone would only cover about $95,000 a year. But their retirement lifestyle expenses would require over $300,000 a year after taxes and healthcare expenses. Their withdrawal rate, however, would remain shockingly low, starting at only 2.3%, and dropping even further once their mortgage was paid off. And by age 90, their portfolio was projected to reach $23 million. And if you include their home, it'd be about $28.3 million. So what's the problem? Well, my concern wasn't their finances. Those were exceptional. My concern was their quality of life. See, at this point, they're both working about 60 to 70 hours a week. Their health was starting to suffer. They had little to no time for their hobbies, exercise, for their personal health, to put time into their relationships, or to travel. They were deferring everything, joy, memory, experiences, all to some future date. This is where one of my favorite books of all time comes in. Bill Perkins' Die with Zero. He says, I'm assuming your goal in life is not to maximize your income and wealth, but to maximize your lifetime fulfillment, which comes from experiences and the lasting memories created by those experiences. And when I brought this up, Bill and Susan were quick to admit that they really weren't enjoying their quality of life. They didn't love their jobs anymore. They only had weekends to recharge. They weren't doing the things that made them feel alive. They even admitted to me they barely had time to do their own laundry. And neither one of them had a goal of dying with a net worth of $23 million. They were sacrificing time and health to maximize wealth unintentionally. And this would be wealth they would never even likely use. So I asked them, do you love what you do? They both said no. We used to like the work, but we hate the management responsibilities. So I asked them, why retire at 67? And they both replied, well, that's because we're supposed to do. And to be honest, they felt a little guilty doing something different than their parents. I said, well, could you spend more? They said, absolutely. Of course you could spend more. They'd love to spend more time traveling with their kids, their grandkids, helping some charities that they like, and even helping their kids with down payments for their first homes. So we explored alternatives. What if they demoted themselves and took jobs they actually enjoyed? What if they stopped maxing out their 401ks and only contributed what they needed to get the match? And what if they stopped saving extra in that joint account? With these changes, their lifestyle and cash flow needs would actually remain the same, even with a pay cut. And instead of having $23 million at age 90, depending on how much they earned, they might only have $19 million. Hardly a crisis. We also explore retiring at 62 instead of age 67. Now, yes, in this case, they'd end up with about $10 million less, but still more than enough to do everything they want for the rest of their lives. We explored donating $25,000 a year to their favorite charities, and it barely made a dent. And finally, we explored helping their kids get into their first homes. Something that long-term financially really didn't make a big impact to their finances, but made a huge impact emotionally today. Most people are not in Bill and Susan's exact financial situation, but the principles here apply across the board. The traditional retirement path is broken. It tells you to sacrifice your time and your health to maximize your retirement tomorrow, only to arrive at retirement with more money than you'll ever use, and less health and energy to enjoy it all. So here's the takeaways. If you're a lifelong saver, be aware of this trap. You may struggle to give yourself permission to spend, enjoy life, and retire early, even when you can. Money is not the goal. Money is a tool to be used, not just to accumulate. Don't view everything in life as pre-retirement, post-retirement. Live more holistically, creating the life you never want to retire from. Balance today's joy with tomorrow's security. And the real work is understanding who you are. Because once you have enough, the harder question becomes, what do I want my life to look like? Many people can't answer this because they've spent years in survival mode rather than self-discovery. This is the new way of thinking. Stop sacrificing your health and your time in pursuit of a number. Understand that money is your tool to help you live an aligned life, one with experience, fulfillment, and purpose. So if you're considering filing for Social Security early, don't miss my video 4 really good reasons to file Social Security at age 62. It breaks down exactly why claiming at 62 can be a smart move for some people. Once again, I'm Daniel Ronberg, and if you're interested in seeing how we help our clients retire with abundance, please visit us at nationsfirstfin.com. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed this video and you want more information about retirement, be sure to check out my new book, Buy Back Your Life, How to Stop Worrying About Money and Start Living in Retirement. If you want a copy of this book absolutely for free, call my office with this phone number below. Talk to the girls at the front desk. You don't have to provide any information. We just need your name and address, and they'll mail you out your copy today.